Okay, here we are. We are now on step number 6. And this is where we are now going to actually launch your business, the official launch. Now, you have already talked to people before now, prior to this point. We're talking about, we've talked about getting your 3 people so you can get your education for free. We've talked about all of that. Um, the last video we talked about you emptying your phone and starting your list, right? So what are you going to do with that list? What we're going to do now is do an official launch of your business. That means you are having your coming out party. You're having your, and I'm not saying, well, you could do it at a house. We'll talk about how this goes in just a second. But this is you literally now introducing yourself or presenting yourself as this new business owner to all those people on your list. And this is what makes it so easy. We're going to create a flyer for you. And that flyer is going to be a nice big, well, it won't be big because it's going to be on your phone. But when you talk to people, the way you're going to get them to attend and to attend your launch, which is basically just one of the Zoom presentations where we mention your name and say, John is launching tonight. Congratulations, John, and welcome to all of John's guests. And you have a flyer that has your picture. It has the date of your launch, the time, and all of the contact information. Now, you're not going to tell people when you talk to them, you're not going to tell them when and where and all of that because they're not going to remember, and half the time they're not going to write it down. What you're going to do is, as I said, when you say, I'm just launching my brand new business, I'd appreciate it if you would just come and celebrate with me. It's going to be Wednesday night at 9. Can I shoot you a flyer with all the details? That's it. And the flyer that they're going to get is going to be that one with your beautiful picture on it and the Zoom link with the meeting room ID and the password and all that. And the reason we do it with a flyer is because we want them to feel special. You are invited. It says that on the flyer. You're invited. So they're invited to celebrate with you. It's not like, come check out my presentation and I hope you want to join. No, you are invited to celebrate with me as I launch my new business. And they're going to be celebrating with you, but they're also going to hear the entire presentation. And that's what launching your business is. So the 2 things that have to happen here is that we're going to create, you have to, first of all, we got to select a launch date for you. Okay. So you decide what day you want to launch and you decide what time. As of right now, as of this recording, we have calls all throughout the day. Okay, but that we're going to be adding some and some are going to be, so I'm not going to even say right now a time and a day, but just know that any day other than Wednesdays, well, you know what, we're going to be adding some of our own team launches as well. So we'll talk about your date later on when we meet, but you want to first pick a date. Once you pick the date, we create your flyer, and your flyer again is going to be on your phone. And then you're going to, once you speak with the person, say, can I shoot you a flyer with all the details? That's all you got to say. Almost everybody's going to say yes to that. They're not committing to anything except for you shooting them a flyer. Now, what does that flyer do? It's going to impress them a little bit because the flyer looks great. But the main thing is they're going to have it right there on their phone. So there's not going to be an excuse for I didn't have the link, I didn't have the time, or I didn't have, and they won't miss it because it's going to be this big old picture on their phone, right? So that's why we do it in a flyer form. And you can also take this flyer and you can post it to all of your social media. You can post it on your Facebook and on your Instagram and wherever else you are on social, and just say, hey, to your social media world to come and celebrate with me. I'm launching my new business. And so you're going to be able to put this flyer any and everywhere in within this video or somewhere on this page. I'll have a link. I'll do it that way. I'll do a separate video that shows you how to do the flyer, and I'll put a link down there. If you are challenged and technology kind of scares you when it comes to doing things like that, I can help you with your flyer. So I don't mind doing that. That's, we want to make sure that you have that flyer, right? So if you watch the video and you think it's a little bit too technical, it's so easy. It's not anything difficult at all. But I don't want you not having that flyer stopping you from being able to launch the proper way, right? So we want to make sure that you pick your date, number one, get your flyer made, number two, and then make your calls from the list that you created in the last video, okay? So that's going to help you to make sure I have everything. Now, another way that you can do this, I will say, right now, because this came right the time that I'm doing this, we were all in quarantine, and you'd be amazed at how successful things have been going with us being in quarantine, right? Because everybody was at home. But we're just getting to the point where we're okay. We're open to go in people's homes. We're open to, if you say for instance, if you have a large group and you would actually like to have a meeting where you've got anywhere from 10 plus people, then if it's local, we will be able to come out and do that for you. If it's not local, you can still invite everybody there and put the presenter up on a TV screen or some sort of a screen, and we can do it that way. So there's a lot of different ways we can do it. The easiest and the fastest way is to simply put them on one of the presentation calls that we already have going on, and that way, the great thing about that is if you do your launch at 2 o'clock, say for instance, you put them on a 2 o'clock call for your launch, and then you have people who get on that call and they go, you know what, I want to do this. They can actually invite people to the 9 o'clock call themselves that would actually end up signing up with them the same day, because they have people who've now heard the information the very same day. This is how people have gotten to that $1,000 within the first week, because they launched early. They had somebody on every single call that we have. If you put enough people on the calls, I guarantee you, you're going to get your team growing, okay? So that is going to be your action step for this session, is to get with your leader and choose a launch date, okay? And once you choose the launch date, make your flyer with all of the information on it. And then once you make that flyer, you talk to the people on your list and invite them to your launch. All right. And that's going to get your business started. The more people that you invite, the much better it's going to be, because your team is going to then follow you and duplicate the same process. And they'll be having their launches and they'll be inviting people, and all of those people will end up on your team. And that, my friend, is a beautiful thing. Okay. So that's this step. It's all about your launch. It's all about you contacting your people and getting them out there so that your team can start to grow. Now let's go ahead and move to the 7th step, and we're almost at the end. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.